Good evening, traders. I hope you're all doing well this fine Wednesday afternoon. So on Sunday, I did a video where we had a weekly outlook for the pairs that I was looking out for this week, and also a review of the trades that I was looking out for the previous week, of which we did. We had a very in-depth analysis and we had a very in-depth analysis of the previous week's trades and what you're expecting for this week. That is right here on this video that is on YouTube, on the YouTube channel. I shared this video also with my Discord community, the Chase Capital private Discord community. This weekly outlook video is on YouTube, so I shared this on YouTube. The YouTube channel is Chase Capital 254 you, so you can go and check it out here on. If you click this watch on YouTube, you will get to see this is where the video is at, and we discussed this in depth on Sunday. Now today is Wednesday. I'd like to go through. Good evening. I'd like to go through. I'd like to go through. And I'd like to go through what do we call it? A review of the trades that we have for this week. We had GBPUSD, USDCAD, USDCHF, EURUSD. We also talked about the indices, so I will take you through. I will get to take you through those setups. So starting off with GBPUSD, I must say that our target has been finally has been hit. This is our target for GBPUSD. This level of this level here. This is about 1.34 thousand, and our target was hit. So we did a very solid 180 pips on this one. Very solid 180 pips. Our range got filled. Remember, this was our working range. So to this and back to this got filled. Now, price has broken below. So what are we looking out for? Today is Wednesday, so we have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So what are we looking out for in GBPUSD? We had a solid breakout. We have had a retest. So I'm looking at a potential continuation of drop lower and price coming to this next level of 1.32750 areas. That is my next area of interest. Again, why am I eyeballing 1.32750 areas? Because you see this level here. This now marks the new origin of where we are expecting price to, the new origin of this whole rally to this level. So for the range to be filled, we are expecting to see price come all the way to this next demand area down here. Now, this is a very key demand area on the 4 hour. This is the 4 hour, and also if you check out the daily time frame as well, this is the next key area of interest here on the daily time frame. You can see on the daily time frame we have no green candle at all. This on the daily time frame, no green candle. There is no bulls on this market or on GBP USD. So we are very, very heavily bearish. So we had our first targets hit at 180 pips. Now I've re-entered the trade from here. I'm expecting to see price push all the way to the levels of 1.32750. So I shared this also on the public blog, which I will get to show you in a few. So this is I'm expecting to see price come to the levels of 1.32750 areas. So that's a good another solid about 130 pips on this one. Okay. So cumulatively we are looking at we've been having positions from here all the way down to this area. We will be looking at about a solid 340 pips. Okay, we'll be looking at a solid 340 pips on that. So that's on GBP USD. Here is Euro USD. When we were discussing this on Sunday for Euro USD, price was within these areas here. So I was expecting to see price come tap this area, these highs before a potential continuation of the drop lower, but the bias was still bearish. The bias was still bearish. So we saw price react from here, and price has been building momentum. Monday, yesterday we had CPI, and also today on Wednesday. So again, the target expected is this demand area down here, the level of 1.14 for 80 areas, or level, let's say 1.14 500 levels here, because you look at working range being from this demand to this supply area here, and we are looking at price coming all the way back to this demand. So for probably anyone who's looking out for potential entries, these will have been the best case entry for today. This will have been the best case entry for yesterday. And considering today is Wednesday, so probably anyone who's day trading this, as much as I don't advocate for anyone trying to take trades in the middle of the trend, one can have sell stops, then take the trade all the way down to this area here, because the distance between current price, the distance from current price to, or the distance from current price to the target is about a solid 120 pips. So for anyone who's day trading this, you can have some very good setups on this one. So there is Euro USD as much as you saw a bit of consolidation last week. So this week you're seeing quite some good momentum on this. So let's observe and see how price reacts to that. But so far, my buyer still remains bearish as mentioned on Sunday, and this remains our target for 1.14500. Remember, like always and previously mentioned for probably every guys who know how I trade, I am a swing trader. So when I am looking out for positions in the markets, I'm looking for positions that I will be for several days, sometimes into weeks. Um, the previous last week when I was in GBPUSD, it was a setup that I had been holding from last week on Tuesday. The targets got hit this week on Tuesday. Today I've got that was yesterday, so that was 7 days. Today I took more trades once we had this breakout, and I'm expecting to hold it all the way down to this next area. So that is how I approach the swing. That is how I approach my swing trades. It is very important to look at it from a bigger picture perspective. That is how I trade. That is how I trade these markets. So then let's have a look at USD CAD as well. So this is USD CAD. I also mentioned about it on Sunday's video. And as you can see, we are cruising very nicely. And this is what we have. So we had a very solid breakout. We had a breakout above. When market opened this week, we were within these regions. So we had a bit of consolidation. Then yesterday was CPI's move, and now we're seeing price eventually. We have taken out these rejections that were forming here, and now price is within these areas. I'm looking at price coming all the way to the levels of 1.37, actually 1.38 thousand areas, which is right here, because of this level and also this level here being a key supply area. So having looked at that, and from Sunday we have been very bullish on USDCAD. I'm still expecting to see price push all the way to this level, 38,000 areas. And I will do a video on Sunday now. I'm doing a recap of everything that I've mentioned here, and I will also have it on YouTube. I will also post it on the public blog. Um, this is the blog. This is the public blog here. Chase Capital. This is chasecapitalke.blogspot.com. This is where the Sunday video is at. You can see this is July 13th. So that is where I shared the video both on YouTube and also on the public blog and also on Discord. So here we have it again. The results of the setups I talked about. So far we have done about 90 pips. So far, we've done about 90 pips in this trade. Once it gets to our target, again, you're looking at about 135. So 135 pips up for grabs. So that is quite a very good setup. So realize all my setups are swing positions. Swing positions. Anytime I'm looking for trades in the markets, I'm looking out for swing positions. Nothing less. So that is on USDCAD. Let's keep holding for anyone who's in this position, and we look out for our target of 1.38 thousand. Then let's look at USDCHF as well. USDCHF is also another setup that we had mentioned about. So here we have USDCHF right at our target. We had when market was opening this week, price was within these levels. Yeah, we had not yet broken above this. We were expecting these equal highs to be taken out. Remember, where price is coming from is a very key demand area here, both on the 4 hour and the daily time frame. Now we've seen price break above these highs, and we have seen price rally all the way to this supply area. And like from what we had discussed on Sunday, is price this being the origin of the drop till this demand area. Now price has rallied back to this, filling the fast minor range. However, this is now the rally back to this area. However, chances are high you might actually see price push to these levels of 0.81200. So I'm looking at a scenario where price pushes the levels of 0.81200 levels. Okay. So 0.81200 areas is the next area of interest that I'm looking at price coming to. So let's observe and see how price reacts to that. So these are the levels 0.81 to 100. But so far our target has already been hit. We are sitting on a good how many pips? we're sitting on a solid, for anyone who took it from here, we're sitting on a solid, again, 120 pips. We're sitting on a solid 120, 125 pips. So it's quite a good trade for that one as well. So then we had, let's have a look at, you can see USDCAD gaining quite a lot of momentum, approaching our area of interest, the target. So let's also look at NZD before I get into the indices, because I also trade indices, and we also did, wow, NZD also approaching the area of target. As much as I didn't take this setup, but I had talked about it. So we had price reacting from here. I was actually expecting price to tap this area, but once we saw this rejection, we saw a very nice push to the downside. Again, our target being this demand, and we are just like, can see very few pips from our target here. Okay. Uh, looking at this from how I trade these charts, you can see there's this demand, we have this rally all the way to this supply. We had a fake breakout above, then price did this, then we had a push to the downside, then we had this retracement that now confirms the bearish sentiment. So honestly, I would have probably missed the trade from here, but my entry will either have been from here or from this retracement level here. Then the targets will have been this level here, 0.59 100 areas down here, and that is why you can see price is approaching. Something that I've mentioned even in daily sessions that I usually have. So you can see we are just very few pips away from the target, and that is on NZD/USD. Then let's have a quick look at NASDAQ and US30. So I remember mentioning sometime last week about expecting price to tap all-time highs of 23,000, of which you've seen that. And we tapped 23,000. Now price is a little bit retracing. So I'm looking at price coming to these levels of 22,670 as the first structure. If it breaks below this, the next area of interest is 22,400. This level of 22,400, that is where you have the next structure, key level of interest. So I'm looking at price coming towards something like this. Because usually what happens when any all-time high is formed across any market, whether it is currencies, commodities, indices, futures, stocks, or even cryptos, any market that forms all-time highs, there's usually a healthy correction that occurs before either a potential continuation of the trend or a potential reversal. So in this case, you have this. So I'm looking at either price reacts from this level here, either price reacts from this level here and starts pushing higher, or price breaks below and comes all the way down to this structure that you have here. But our all-time high of 23,000 has been tapped, so let's observe if we'll see that correction, then a potential continuation of the rally higher. But currently, I wouldn't advise taking a trade from where it's at until it comes to the mentioned levels here, or the levels of 22,400. And lastly, we have US30. Lastly, we have US30. There's US30 here. This is US30. So you can see US30, we had a drop from this level here. This is a major level on the daily time frame. This is where we had all-time highs. And when priced up this area here, now when you come to the 4-hour time frame, to be able to see it better, we had this. So price tapped here the first time, we had a push to the downside, came, tapped here the second time, then a strong push to the downside, missed the target by a few pips, retraced, and now eventually dropped to the target that you are looking out for. Now, having that target hit, remember our working range is now from this demand to this supply and back to this demand, meaning that that range has been filled. Having that range being filled, this demand has held. So we are looking at price pushing from this level here. And so far you can see we have seen a slight bullish push to 44,200, which is here. I'd be expecting to see price push higher, at least back to these highs. This will be the first area of interest. These highs of 44,600 areas will be the first area of interest. But so far, let's observe and see how price reacts to this. Considering this range has been filled, this demand has held. So let's observe and see how price reacts to that. So this is more of a midweek. This is a midweek update. The markets are still open. We still have today is Wednesday. We still have Thursday and Friday until the close of the trading week. So this is more of a midweek update. So let's observe and see how price reacts to the various levels that we are looking out for. And for more information, you will always find that on this public blog. This is shadescapitalke.blogspot.com. You will find I usually share insights and analysis on. You will find insights and analysis on this public blog. I do have about 230 shared posts on this blog where I share insights and analysis. Then I will also be sharing that on YouTube here. As you can see, we have all this information right here on the YouTube. This is the YouTube channel, Chase Capital. This is Chase Capital 254. This is where I share all these insights and analysis of these setups that I'm looking out for. So I'll also be sharing these on YouTube as well, so that you can have a look. For anyone who wants private, anyone who is looking out for private tutoring about these financial markets, this is the Discord that I usually have for this. So I shared this here, and an update on the GBPUSD setup is right here on the technical analysis. So this blog is about 4 years old now, since 2021, and I have hundreds of setups here. These have hundreds and hundreds of setups right here. And again, these are not signals. I don't do signals. I don't share signals. I share insights and analysis. You can see well detailed, deeply detailed. These are not setups. These are not signals where I say buy here, sell here. I take you through the thought process of the trade, the follow through of the trade until the trade either gets to SL or TP. So with that, guys, looking forward to see how the setups turn out to be. Then I will do a video at the end of the week, showing how showing how the trading week has been, and also now what to expect for the new week as from next week. So with that, guys, I wish you an amazing week, a very productive week, a very peaceful week, and see you at the end of the week. So cheers, everyone, and see you at the end of the week.